Hi, everybody. Hola, mi amigos. If you guys read the title, basically, I hate night shift. I used to work night shift, and these are like the giant cons for somebody that's not used to doing night shift when you actually end up having to work that, from night to morning. Um, I only work night shift like for a little bit. It was only like every other Monday, and it was like a while ago. Now I'm not gonna go into details of what type of job I had. What? That sounds weird, right? No. Okay, basically, I was just like I used to just stay at a desk. I guess you could say I was like a receptionist. I guess you could label me that. But I used to work every Monday night from 11 to like 7 a.m. And honestly, dude, it was one of the worst times of my life. I hated night shift, dude. Having like, especially before you even have to go to work, you try to get some sleep. I would try so many times before I went to work. I would turn off everything in the room. I would lay down in bed, and I couldn't go to sleep. I couldn't. I tried and I tried, and then I know I get a knock, and it will be like my brother, and he'll be like, "Hey, it's time for you to go to work, isn't it?" And I'll be like, "Oh yeah," and then I'll get up, and he'll drop me off at work. And dude, I remember the whole car ride to work. I'm falling asleep in the seat. Then when I finally got to work, dude, I just hated it, dude. I couldn't last, dude. Like probably like an hour, then like the second hour, dude, I was getting so sleepy, dude. Especially working night shift, depending if it was a holiday, no one will be there, right? So what is it? It was kind of creepy doing night shift in a giant building where it was only you. It was like some Five Nights at Freddy's. Um, and honestly, what's that called? Sleep hallucination, something like that. Like when you're so tired, you start seeing stuff, dude. I swear, bro. At night, when I was walking throughout the building, like doing like a little round, like making sure everything was good, dude, I would get creeped out because like you're so sleepy, like you get like an intrusive thought, like what if somebody's watching you, and you turn around. Picture this: a big hallway, you're just looking down the hallway. You're like, what if somebody's watching me? I'll get creeped out, dude. So that was like one of the biggest downfalls for me for trying to do night shift was when you're so tired, you start thinking stuff. Like you start getting so sleepy, dude. Um, I also hated how like, dude, you have to fix your mindset when you're working night shift. Like you look outside the window, you see the moon in the sky. You're like, I think I'm supposed to be home right now. I think I'm supposed to be in bed sleeping right now, not working right now, but you had to do what you had to do. Also, the only cool part about, actually doing night shift is that a lot of times, depending where you work, no one really bothered you. 9 times out of 10, depending what you did, because I know somebody that works in forklift or a warehouse. I don't know if they're busy at night. You get what I'm saying? So not every overnight is gonna be like just a walk in the park. No one's bothering you. Some of them you still have to like work. Another thing I disliked about what is it doing overnight, especially on a holiday, dude. The whole building was empty, as I said before, and it was just so creepy vibes, dude. Creepy vibes. Like when you're half asleep. Um, I remember one time. What is it? You ever saw the movie Night of the Living Dead? Not the original, but the remake they made in the '90s that had color. Um, what is it? I remember one time it was a holiday, right? And I did overnight. I went to work. Nobody was there. The whole building was closed. I was just at the desk for phone calls or whatever, and I was at the desk. Tell me why I'm watching this movie, right? I brought everything. I brought two chairs. I brought one to put my leg on. I got the desk right here. I got my phone right here. I'm just chilling, right? I got like a coffee right here. And dude, I was doing overnight, right? Here's the thing about intrusive thoughts that really mess with you, especially when you're alone, it's quiet, it's nighttime. Dude, I was watching the movie, right? And I looked down to my left, because to my left, this is the desk. To my left is this big hallway. Like, big hallway. It goes all the way down, right? And it takes a left. Tell me why. Dude, I was watching the movie. Halfway through the movie, I just paused the movie because I started telling myself, because I kept on looking down the hallway. You ever get that where like you're on how do you say, like you're constantly focused on the darkness, like there's nothing there, right? Or like a hypothetical, right? A creepy one, like, oh, what if somebody is in the forest? That's how I was looking down the hallway. I was like, what if somebody is behind the corner? You know, what if somebody is behind the corner? And I was just creeping myself out because I was watching this zombie movie, and I'm just like, dude, what if like I don't know where like three zombies just started running right down that hallway, you know? Dude, that game, and the thing that annoyed me was I had this big desk that this how dumb my mind was. Like hypothetically, even if somebody was to run down that hallway, dude, you would have to get up and walk around the whole desk. So basically, if somebody was to run down that hallway, you will have to get somewhat closer to where they're coming at you just to go around the desk just to get out of the building, right? So it really messed with my head. And you know, dude, that's the reason I hated doing night shift, dude. The night shift, oh, one time I fell asleep on night shift, but it was because, dude, I couldn't stay up, dude. I couldn't stay up. I tried my best to stay up during night shift. There were some times where I just couldn't, dude. I fell asleep, but I think I fell asleep with my eyes open or something, dude. Because someone was like, "Hey, are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm okay." One day, a different day. Um, but yeah, dude, I never like doing night shift, especially when you get off at 7 a.m. I will say I did watch some movies. That's how you keep awake. One time I had to do an over. They had a call off at work. Um, I had a family member that was gonna pick me up from work. They were like, unfortunately, looks like you're gonna have to stay over the full shift, the full overnight. And I was like, okay, then I'll stay. I don't mind. I just told my family member, I was like, hey, can you go get me some McDonald's and a large coffee, dude? I ate like a king this night, even though I had to stay overnight, dude. I was like, well, tonight I'm gonna eat like a king. You know, I got like two McChickens, some fries, some nuggets, a large Coke, a large hot coffee, dude. It was crazy, dude. I ate like a king. And honestly, I don't know how that worked, but it gave me like a massive boost, and I didn't go to sleep the whole shift. Like I was just walking around the whole shift, and then the shift ended, and I went home. Another downside of overnight is I feel that like everybody gets put on overnight. Everybody gets put on overnight when you first get a job, and that's the thing that kind of sucks. Like especially if you need the money, of course you're gonna take it, but overnight is not built for everybody. As I said, for me, in my personal experience, I was never made for overnight shifts. Sometimes I'll fall asleep. Sometimes I'll stand outside, try to get some fresh air to stay awake. As long as you're standing, you don't knock out. Like you have to keep on moving. Um, and I think just overall for me, I just never liked it. I never liked doing night shift. Um, it just has so much downs. And then in the morning, when you finally get out of work, you see the sun outside, and you're like, wow, why do I feel so tired? And then you get home, and then your brain is like, why are you going to sleep? The light is out. And then that's another issue. So not only is it an issue to stay awake, but it's an issue to fall back to sleep. That's what I got from overnight shift. I'm not a big fan of overnight. I know some people, they don't care. They'll do anything. They'll work first shift, second shift, night shift. They don't care. But as for me, I never liked night shift. I hated night shift. I had bad experiences. I was always half asleep. I worked at different places, different jobs where, dude, speaking of which, let me talk about this one situation. Let's just make this video 11 minutes, right? I'm going to talk about this one situation. One time, I had this one job where I had to be at this one shack by like this giant like truck area. So like you have to check in trucks, right? I had a job like for like a while. And one time I had to do night shift, right? Dude, it's like Silent Hill. You ever saw the video game Silent Hill? That's how it was, dude. Cause like this truck place, you had to drive on off the main street into like 2 blocks, 3 blocks down, where it's all just its own section. And dude, I remember one time I was like, hey, I'm gonna go use the bathroom. I was working with somebody, and they were like, yeah, you could go use the bathroom. I was like, where is it? They're like, it's right out there. And not even in it's not by the shack. It's like across away from the shack. And I went to the bathroom, dude. I went in this bathroom, the light was flickering, the sink looked tore up, the toilet looked like someone stuck a grenade in it. Like, it looked bad, bro. Like, the toilet was a mess, sink was a mess, the bathroom stall door looked like, if somebody vomited and crapped on it. Um, the light was flickering, and I was like, oh my god. It literally looked like the bathroom from Saw, the movie Saw, if you guys remember that horror movie. But yeah, overall, I just had some personal bad experiences on night shift. Um, what is it? Fortunately for me, I only had to work night shift Mondays. But whenever that day came, I was very sad. I knew hell was starting for me because, dude, I couldn't fall asleep. I couldn't fall asleep, guys. And it was just overall very difficult for me. I don't know if you guys had that issue. Now, when I was a teenager, that was different. Like when I was like 17 years old, dude, I could stay up all the way to 3, maybe even 6 a.m. playing Xbox. But the moment I hit like 20, 21, and you have to work for that overnight, like you're not doing something that you want to do. You're working a job that you have to do, right? So that's when it really got to me. But other than that, guys, I'm ending this video here. I'm going to upload more videos like this talking about my life. Uh, Now, I don't want to say what's my job, like what job that I work at, but I also did have some creepy experiences because some people always ask me when I finally tell them what that I work as. They always tell me, "What's your most creepiest experience?" Now, I'm not like, dude, I'm not like working at like in the middle of a gas station in the middle of nowhere, and there's just darkness. There's no lights, and the only phone to call anybody is it's literally broken. No, but I did have a few creepy experiences in my line of work. Again, I feel more comfortable saying my profession of what I worked as once like I get big enough where like okay, like this is not gonna bounce back and like someone's gonna say, hey, like you can't, hey, like because you said this you're gonna get in trouble, as in like, you know um like, hey, you can't be working and also saying bad stuff about the job type thing. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna end this video here. Did you guys ever work night shift? Now, I only know like 2 people in my entire life that worked night shift and they hated it. I hated it as well whenever I had to do it every other Monday. Sometimes I had to do it if somebody called off. I had to stay no matter what. So yeah, guys, do you guys hate night shift? You guys ever worked night shift? I wouldn't wish night shift on anybody, dude. I'm telling you, some people might muscle through it. You could muscle through it, but you have to drink a lot of coffee, dude. I remember the way that I got through night shifts whenever I had to stay over. I had to drink 2 large coffees, like ones like these. I had to drink 2 of them back to back, and automatically I was awake for the full shift. Some people do energy drinks or 5-hour energy drinks. I can't do that. I can't do energy drinks, dude. I don't want my heart. Coffee is natural. It's from the earth. But anyways, guys, I'm ending this video here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.